Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live episode of Soul Talks with Alka. Today, we are doing live episodes because due to the stay-at-home policies, we are changed our episodes and we're doing them live so that we can all learn from each other during the challenges we're all facing. We want to create an environment where we can talk to each other, and we're encouraging you to ask questions. Nothing has changed quicker than the education system during the lockdown. And today with me, I have two music teachers who are mother and daughter, but are also music teachers and combine how they've changed their adaptation to when we were given stay-at-home orders. With me today, it's my absolute pleasure to invite Debbie Tarby and Rebecca Tarby. Ladies, welcome to Soul Talks with Alka.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So Debbie, I have a question for you, and Rebecca, same, but I'll Debbie first. How long have you been teaching?
Well, I've been teaching for about 40 years, but
Wow.
I've been in public school education for 31 years.
Okay.
And it's been a magnificent career.
Yeah, so you have seen education go through many a different path, from books to Chromebooks to technology changes.
For sure. When I started teaching, we had Apple IIs, and we had to. It was it was much different than now.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
And about approximately how many students do you think you would have taught throughout your career?
You know, it's very hard to say, but I was talking with my husband the other day, and we think it's probably 10,000 or more.
Oh my God, 10,000?
Probably, yes.
Wow. So you have impacted 10,000 lives?
I hope so.
Yeah, wow. And Rebecca, of course, you have, your mom's daughter, and glad you are, because you guys both talk about all of these things. But how long have you been teaching?
Well, I'm in my 5th year of teaching, finishing up my 5th year coming up soon.
Wow.
I've previously taught in Nashville, Tennessee, and in New York City, and now I am here in Edison, New Jersey. So I've experienced education from different states, definitely not over the years that my mom has, but I've seen many different ways to do different things, and I'm so glad to see those changes and to be here and experience and try to help with all of these changes that are happening now with remote learning.
Yeah. So, when the quarantine began, teachers were not given too much notice to say it's going to be remote learning, right? How did you adapt? How did you mentally position yourself? How did you decide what you're going to do with your curriculums? Because music is pretty hands-on.
For sure. We did have a little bit of training the week before with the idea that there might possibly be some remote learning going on for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But it became obvious very quickly that it was going to be much longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And with music education, I quickly found out that I needed to change the way in which I approached the children, and make sure that they saw me and that they felt comfortable and that they knew that I was still there, and that it became as close to what was going on in my classroom as possible. So the learning curve was very steep and very quick to learn all the technologies that we needed to do.
Yeah. And what grades do you teach? Both of you teach 3rd through 5th, right?
I also teach preschool.
You also teach preschool.
I'm in Snack, New Jersey. I teach 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade and preschool.
Wow. Okay. So, Rebecca, how did you, obviously for you, remote learning or technology might have been easier, right? But I think adaptation to it, Debbie, from what I understand, really dives into technology. But how did you both coordinate this remote learning?
Well, coordination, that's a great question. That first weekend, we were on the phone constantly. Oh, what is your school doing? What are they telling you? What do you think we should do? And we've just been in almost constant communication ever since. I knew that Friday when we closed early, I had to say goodbye to students, making sure that they knew that I was there for them. Again, we spent that weekend feverishly planning, but also not knowing exactly what things were going to look like the next week.
Yes.
And I was very grateful that we took a day on that Monday for teachers to be able to set up their lessons. And we actually did meet in person. And on that Monday, I spent hours sitting with my mentor and other music teachers,
Wow.
planning and getting everything into our Chromebooks to go live on Tuesday. And we've been in also constant communication with each other. All of the elementary music teachers in the district of Edison are communicating what is working, what isn't working, what the struggles are, our
Absolutely.
ideas. We're saying, steal, take whatever you can. And so we're giving Google Slide lessons, and we're putting it out to everyone, and people take what they can and adapt it. And we're just being so free with our ideas, and free. We feel very comfortable and really want to put our lessons out there so that other students can use them, because we know that they've worked with our students.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the kids have become one of the heroes also, right? Along with the frontliners, because their lives changed on the fly. Like, they are used to coming to school, used to seeing their friends, used to seeing their teachers. Now, all of a sudden, their whole world changed. So Mona is asking, how hard was it for preschoolers to adjust to online learning? And what did you do, Deborah, specifically for them? Because they need more attention.
Well, right away, I used their names as often as possible in the videos that I made. I would ask the parents, if you are watching my videos, please tell me and let me know so that I can speak directly to your child. I created immediately my hello song, videotaped my hello song so that they knew that, and my goodbye song so that they knew that. As I got along, I got more adept at creating a page so that it was easy for the children to manipulate it themselves, to watch videos and to be able to make choices about what they saw. I made sure that there was still movement games, the movement activities that I do in my classroom, the same songs that we sing, and to make it as familiar and comfortable as possible.
Nice.
And I think that's really important with the little ones, that they see the faces of the people that they're familiar with and that they're comfortable with. For a couple of weeks, some of the children may have, been totally disconnected from anybody but the people in their homes. And so to hear their teachers speaking directly to them is essential, even though we didn't have the capability to do Zoom immediately, at least in my district.
Yeah. Rebecca, what challenges did you see in beginning and in starting remote learning? What were you seeing as communication challenges with your students?
Well, a lot of the technology was new to students, or they hadn't been practicing it in the same amount of way. So making sure that they understood how to check their email, how to see when things were being posted, how to submit work once they finished it, has really been a struggle, but something that once the kids learn how to do that and they're able to communicate back with me, I can see all the work that they had been doing, and then they get to share it with me, and we can have these great conversations, but also like feedback. So they give me their submissions, whether it's a video of them or a composition that they made. They make their own music with great online tools. And then I get to say, I really loved the rhythm that you used, or I thought that melody sounded so beautiful. I'm being specific and giving feedback to each individual kid, because that's what I was really wanting to focus on once we started remote learning, was not just the content. My lessons are still standards-based, and they're still the students are still learning music, but how do I make sure that they feel connected and I continue to have that classroom community throughout remote learning? And so we've had Google Meets. They've again been submitting their work in such creative and cool ways. And even if it's not an assignment, I've gotten some like videos they just posted on the Google Classroom, so all third graders can see it, them sing Adele or something. And they just love to share their singing, and sometimes it's a video, or they just can audio record on their Chromebooks, and they're able to share their love of music, not just with me, but with other students if they feel comfortable. And that sense of community has really continued to flourish, at least in my classroom. And I'm really glad that I was able to foster that sense of community and connection.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. So Alana saying she saw the video of you two singing, which was our promo video for you guys. She said you two are amazing. That video was so cute. So it was really, really nice compilation. And I think that was Debbie's work. So Debbie, congratulations, a beautiful video.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mona is asking, with distraction in the house, it's challenging for parents to get their full attention when they're doing remote learning. As teachers, what advice do you have for parents? How do you channelize the kids and have them not distract?
That's a great question, because we do understand that. They're in their homes. They're going to be easily distracted by all of the things that are around in their home that they don't have when they're in school. When they go to school, there's a sense that I go to school and this is what I do. I mean, I would suggest that you make sure that you find a place for them that is their spot to do their work, that you give them frequent breaks, but that the expectation is that here is a schedule for them to follow, to make sure that they stay on track. Help them to look at everything that there is that they need to do, and to schedule out how they're going to do it. What are the assignments for, if they have the opportunity, for a couple of days, for the week, so that they know how to divide that up and just do a little bit at a time, and be there for them. Check them every once in a while and make sure, and also encourage them to be independent and to reach out themselves to ask questions of their teachers. We're there for them. We want all of us. I don't know a colleague that wouldn't love to get a question from a child that's asking for clarification, and we're willing to spend time with them to answer their questions and to help them along the way.
Nice, very nice. So Anju is asking, do you use any tools to help children with musical patterns, especially with chorus, etc.? Rebecca, do you want to answer that?
Sure, that's a great question. When I'm doing my chorus lessons, I definitely, I'm using a tool called Screencastify, but there are different ways to do it where I have myself on one side of the screen and I have the music on the other side of the screen, and I'm recording myself singing it while I'm tracking with my mouse. So that is one tool that I've used as a teacher to share with students how they can be tracking that. But also at the same time, I'm using some great tools out there, such as Chrome Music Lab. They have an application called Songmaker, and it does take a lot of work for me to communicate with students how to find cool patterns and make melodies that make sense. But again, I'm creating videos about this, and then they're able to create their own compositions, save it, and send it to me. There are tons of tools out there for music theory, for reading pitches and reading rhythms. There are great opportunities out there online for students to practice things such as music patterns, music rhythms, things like that.
Yeah, especially with music, you have to have them so engaged and constantly, right? Because they have to send you something, then you have to give them feedback. It's not immediate gratification. You have to get a sense of pattern set up with them as well.
And it's very different with remote learning, because we can't sing together.
Yes.
There's a delay in, and so there can't be community singing, and that makes it very different and a challenge. but we're doing the best that we can by having them, they mute and sing along, or do an activity with us and mute and sing along, and then send us videos of themselves, and we can help them to continue in the curriculum as much as possible.
Liven also joined in and said, very nice video. So your video is apparently a hit, and we want to say it was a very nice video again. Everybody seems to be giving us that feedback. So I have a question. Now, are you both having classroom withdrawals? I know your children are missing you guys, but are you having classroom withdrawals as well? And what have you done differently to keep in touch with your kids besides the interactions here?
Mom, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
I walked into my classroom yesterday for the first time since March the 13th, and my knees gave out on me. It was an incredible experience. I miss it tremendously. I miss teaching the children in front of me. But I am doing the best I can to continue to communicate with them. I join their meetings with their classes. I offer Zoom meetings for them to come and just talk to me.
Nice.
I send emails to them on a regular basis. And in some ways, there's things I've gotten glimpses into children that I do not get when I'm in the classroom. I get glimpses of their homes, and I get glimpses of what they love, and the little emails that they send me are just charming and wonderful. But I miss them tremendously. I miss being with them.
Rebecca, what about you? How have you done it?
Mom, do you want to talk about your sidewalk class concerts?
Oh, sure. Well, I had a concert that was supposed to happen. There's a couple of things that we've done to also to connect. I had a concert that was planned 2 weeks after we went on to remote learning, which of course couldn't happen. So I had the children send me pictures and videos, and I put together, that's I think when I learned the most iMovie skills, was sending me their videos and putting it together into a 15-minute video for our performance, because that was our performance for that concert. Also, my colleagues, the instrumental music teachers in our district, they did a front yard symphony where they went to the children's homes. We and other music teachers and other staff members joined in, and we went to their homes, and they brought their instruments and their stands out onto the front lawn as we social distanced and wore masks and watched them play. And visited as many children as were willing to be visited. So that was a really fun way of reaching out and seeing them.
Wow, what a new normal, but what a heartwarming way of a new normal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, teachers really go out of their way, because it's not just students, right? It's like, these are the kids you raise. These are the part of the 10,000 kids that you've impacted. My parents are teachers, so I know what an impact a teacher has on a student's life. You guys, it's really just an amazing profession. So I want to thank both of you just for being teachers in the middle of the episode, saying thank you. You have no idea what you mean to the students that you teach. But now going back to Rebecca. Rebecca, talk about what you have done.
I remember the first time I was able to go back into my classroom. I was at the building for a different reason, which I will talk about in a moment. But I was so excited. I got inside and I was like, I need this material. I don't have a pencil sharpener. I don't have crayons. I wanted to make a rainbow to put out on my porch for kids to find. And I was like, I don't have any crafts. Everything was at school, because that's where I did everything. And so all of my crafting supplies, tape and things like that. And so I grabbed a ton of personal supplies, furiously grabbing them. And I also took advantage of that time and went around and made videos inside of the classroom about the percussion family. So I actually got to show the students the instruments that I wanted them to learn about, and I didn't have them at home. So I was able to go to my classroom and play the different hand drums and metallophones that I had and say, this is a shake instrument, this is a maraca, and everything that was content-based and standards-based that they were missing out on from not being inside of the classroom, but I was able to show it to them. Another way, it was a great opportunity that the Edison community and my school community got together, and we did a little parade around North Edison, and the route was based off of the houses of the fifth graders in our school. And for context, there are 675 students in my school, so it was a lot.
That's a lot of students.
But for 2 hours, about 15 teachers drove around, and we decorated our cars, we put our flashers on, and a big shout out to Edison Police that a few times they blocked traffic for us so that we could stay together. And we just opened our windows to our cars and waved out and shouted at students who came out. And I was so surprised. I was taken aback. They came out with signs that say, "We love you, we miss you." And they had such great artwork that they brought out onto their lawns. And though we're physically separated and it takes a lot more to stay connected, I really felt connected that day, especially because it was physical. But then right when I got home, I don't know, at 1:30, we had our parade at 11. I got home at 1:30 and I immediately got a student say, "I saw you," and like, "Did you see me?" And so it started up other conversations in the remote space because we were able to see each other safely at a distance.
Yeah, so beautiful. I had goosebumps when you were talking about that, because just imagine seeing, somebody that you think teachers, everybody goes in, I'm like, oh crap, what is the teacher going to give to me today? And then all of a sudden you don't see someone who's a part of your life and you miss them, and then they come out and make an effort. What a beautiful thought from the teacher. So really, again, hats off to you, to all the education department teachers, everybody out there. You really are doing a phenomenal job for the parents. I read a really nice, actually a funny meme yesterday, and it was on a parent's car, and it said, "To all the teachers, you are lying. My kid is not an angel." So I think now the parents are remote teaching. They're seeing how much the teachers do and how much you guys put your heart and soul into everything that you do. So our next,
great to share our families with our students,
yes.
Yeah, I post things from Rebecca posts things from me. We've posted things from our other daughter. My husband played the horn one day, and it's been great to be able to share our lives with our students.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So what would you like to say to children who haven't seen their teachers? Because some districts have done, the drive-bys, but some have not. What would you say to the children who haven't seen their teachers? And what about to parents who are not being able to handle the remote learning anymore, who are getting frustrated, who want to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
I just want to say that all of the teachers are there for you. We are with you. We reach out to us, let us know what you need. We might not have the opportunity to go around and visit. Every district is, and every town feels differently about that. But we are there. Don't be afraid, and be patient, and be flexible, be fluid, because we don't know. Nobody knows what the future is going to hold. They're putting committees together to discuss it, but there's no answers right now. But we're there for you.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Rebecca, what about you? What would your advice be to parents who are struggling right now, and to the kids who are having withdrawals and not seeing their teachers?
Yes, and I would say that even though I did have that parade and I got to see students' faces not through a screen, that definitely was not the most connected I've been able to be with students throughout this process. They, as we've said before, they email, they message, they post videos. And so I hope that even though students do feel sad and they cannot see us in person, I hope that they are seeing all of their teachers and are reaching out if they need help or if they just want to talk. The best conversations I've had are with students that just message me and say, what are you doing? They're not saying I need help with a lesson. They're saying, what are you doing? And I know that they're reaching out because they need a human interaction. So hopefully each student out there has a teacher like that. They can say, what are you doing? And your teacher can reach out and you guys can have a conversation about your favorite foods and what your pet was doing today and how annoying your sibling was. One of my favorite moments during a Google Meet recently was a student signed on early and her little sister was there. I mean, she was 5. So I asked her, I was like, are you 4 years old? But she goes, Miss Tarby. And I don't teach this student. She's 5 years old and I don't teach kindergarten. And it was like I was a celebrity in their house. So it wasn't just my student who recognized me, but the younger sibling. So the hope is that they are staying connected in some way, whether the district is letting Google Meets and Zooms happen or not, that there's some way for them to see each other's faces. I know every teacher is different, but as we've emphasized multiple times, I'm available to talk via email, Google Meet, and Zoom with parents at any time. The frustration is real and I get it. And we do not want to be something that's a burden. We want our lessons to be engaging and to be kind of an outlet for students and a way to kind of get away from it all. We're hoping that that's what our work does. If it's frustrating, please reach out to us. We want to be there for you. And again, every district is different, but grades are going to look different. And I know it can be frustrating to see that students haven't submitted work or they received a 0 because they didn't submit anything. Those are frustrating things and we get that, but as educators, we want your student to succeed. So the point of us putting out that grade is to say, oh, you haven't done the work. How can I help you find it? How can I help you? How can we work together to have fun and accomplish the goals of music class? So try not to get frustrated by the work missing label or the 0 label. It's not there to shame anybody. It's not there to say you haven't been doing anything and I'm angry at you or I'm frustrated. No, we're posting those grades to be a way to reach out and say, let me know if you need help. And grades are going to look different for each district. And so many have changed their policies. And as a parent, if you're frustrated by that, I would reach out to teachers and see what it's going to look like for the end of this year. It's going to look different, and it's okay if what you see on paper isn't perfect, if what you not really on paper on the screen of work submitted and things like that. That's one thing that I hope parents are understanding, that we're there and we want them to submit work and we want to work with parents and with students to help them achieve their goals.
That's so sweet. That's such a nice message for parents, because I think all parents need to hear. And the question that they're all wondering, and I'm going to ask individually to both of you, is do you think schools are going to open up again in September? And what do you think classrooms are going to look like for parents? Debbie, I'll ask you first and then.
That's such a difficult question. And I don't think we know.
Yeah.
I don't think we know. I think that I don't think anybody knows right now. I think that New Jersey is a little behind some of the other states. So if you live in New Jersey, I think we'll have lots of other models perhaps to look at and to see what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
But we don't know what it'll look like. I do know that our administrators are meeting constantly to make plans for many different scenarios. And I can guarantee you that the children are the #1 priority in all of this. that they will look at what is best for the children.
Wow. That's so important for parents to hear, right? Because parents want to know, and when my child goes back, is my child safe? Is my child going to be okay? Is this going to be normal for them? So it's important for them to know that the system is really working for the kids. Rebecca, what about you? What are your thoughts on that?
I would definitely echo that as well. We will be facing a lot of challenges this summer, a lot of decisions from district-wide, and administrators and politicians are going to do the best that they can to ensure the safety of children, of teachers, of staff members, of parents, of grandparents, and other relatives of students. We don't know what September is going to hold. But what I want everyone to know is that children need to feel safe, whether that's in the school building or not. Because as you said, Alka, is it going to be normal? Probably not what we thought normal looked like before, but a new normal can emerge as long as we're ensuring that students feel safe, they feel valued, loved, and heard, whether they're in a school building or not.
That's so important. Valued, loved, and heard. 3 important things for not only students, but for parents also. We have a
too shall pass. This too shall pass at some point. What is, Rebecca and I have talked about this many times. This is a blip, and this too shall pass. And someday it will be a memory, and it will be in the history books, and we will read about it. We don't know when, but it will.
It will. So CV just joined us, and he said I had a 12 Cub Scout wonderful performance, and they were playing instrument as part of the Den meeting yesterday. They're all from in and around Edison. They were your students, and he said thank you so much. So you really are impacting your students, because the parents want to reach out to you and say thank you. So this particular person is from Edison. So Rebecca, thank you. Thank you for all the hard work that you've been doing. And Debbie, thank you for all the work that you do for your students, because again, you both impact students the way you have no idea. I will tell you a personal story. My dad was a teacher 60 years ago, and his students are now in the UN as ambassadors, own companies, and still call him, still wish him for Teachers Day, still reach out to him and say, you made us an impact on us when we were in high school, and we want to thank you for it. So your impact is everlasting as teachers. And for the job that you do, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for adapting. We want to thank you for loving the kids as your own, because you guys really are phenomenal. Hats off to you guys. And thank you for joining us on Soul Talks with Alka today. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Alka.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you for your conversations. Next week, we're going to have Dr. Sodhi, who is going to be talking about her experience as she was a frontliner in New York City during all of this chaos. So she's going to be talking to us about her firsthand experience. We'll see you next week on Wednesday at 7 p.m.